All right, what's going on, you future Masters players? I'm sure you're looking for some tech, and if I'm not available, you want to be able to essentially review your own gameplay and get better at the game and master all the tech that there is out there, right? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do so, and I'm actually going to be using one of my matches that I had probably maybe about yesterday or 2 days ago. Can't really remember, but regardless, I'm going to go over those matches. I'm going to show you also how to break down what you're supposed to do versus what you're not supposed to do. With that being said, let me pull out the ever so handy notepad. So how do you review your gameplay? Okay, first things first is that you gotta use the replay function. You gotta use it. Okay, I know it's difficult and I know it's hard, don't get me wrong. Even when it comes to this video right here, it's a little bit tough to watch me lose a game. It's hard, but at the same time, you gotta do it, because if you don't do it, you won't know, right? You can't just recall off of the top of the dome all the time unless you got that photograph from memory. My fault, I'm unfamiliar with your game. But regardless, we gotta do the work, and in order to do the work, we gotta watch our replays. Okay, now while watching, you must call out, and I want you to call it out verbally. And the reason why I want you to call it out verbally is because there's something that's there that resonates with you when you say it verbally to yourself. Okay, I don't care if you're in a dark room, whatever, or in a bright room, right? Whatever it is, you got to be saying it to yourself and why you did it. I have had countless people that I've taught tell me that me verbally saying it helps me try and anti-air, helps me try and whiff punish, helps me do these things. So saying it verbally will definitely help you. All right, so while we're watching the matches, we will highlight what I did good and what I did bad. Okay, now the key part here is and why. This is where the analysis comes in. Why? What was I feeling in that moment that made me want to mash there? What was that moment? What made me feel as though I couldn't just play the neutral? I had to jump. What was the reason why I decided to mash there and it was successful? What was the reason why I decided to press crouching medium kick as opposed to standing medium punch in this specific situation? Should I lean more into it? Should I stop using that option as often? Okay, we're gonna go into that, we're gonna break that down. Then once we have told ourselves what we've done well and what we've done wrong in that specific set, we will then go into the lab and go over specific situations. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna switch over to my gameplay of one of the matches I did in fact lose. Although I end up winning the first to 10, I do want to go over the fact that I did lose some games there, and I want to go over why I did. Okay, with that being said, I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so now that we're in the game, I'm going to be going over my process when I'm reviewing your gameplay, my gameplay, regardless of whoever it is. The key here is to be objective with yourself, right? What were you doing in the matchup that got you hit? Okay, this is the situation here where I felt as though, although I got hit here, right, I felt as though, okay, I blocked this, right? I know this is overtly negative, so I want to go ahead and take space here. And I wanted to do that by using the overhead. If they decide to walk back, it does have a lot of range. However, I did get sniped here. Now this, although I did get hit here, I don't think it was necessarily a bad decision. I just think that if your opponent decides to go for a second one, then you get blown up for it, right? So what in this situation could I have done better? Really, you really can't tell or can't know whether your opponent's going to do this again and again. But if you do see a habit of your opponent going for a second chain, right, if they go for a second out chain, then that's when we can decide to go for DI, right? Or we can try and jump the situation. Either one will work, but we want to keep that in mind while playing. So if you clicked on this video, I'm sure you need some help. Lord knows I did at some point. But here's the thing, you want your favorite content creators to come and help you, but let's be real, they're charging like $60 per hour. You don't need that, but when I got you good. Over on this channel, I do free coaching sessions on Tuesdays and on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. EST. So what does that look like? I essentially go over your matches. I can give you tools so that you can succeed the next time you open up rank. So once again, join my Discord. Wait till I'm live either on Tuesdays or on Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. EST. Be there or be square. And yeah, I'm not your favorite pro, but I'm available. Those pros are not available. So once again, join the live, get better, and I'll help you improve. Back to the video. Guess another situation right here. And honestly, you have to keep it so real with yourself. Is why did I choose sweep here? Right? Why did I choose sweep here? And I guess if I'm trying to break down what my feelings were in that moment, is that I felt as though in this specific moment he was gonna go for walk back, right, crouch, and then walk back out of my range again, because he doesn't want to be in this range for a standing heavy punch or a standing heavy kick. So my thought was he's gonna try and he's gonna crouch for a second and then walk back again. So in order to catch him out, I wanted to try and use sweep, and sweep would get my game started. However, in this case, I feel as though now looking back at the gameplay that I can actually go for a crouching medium kick. And if I went for a crouching medium kick, although I get significantly less reward, it is also a safer option. And in this case, had I gone for that, they would have done drive reversal to get me off of them, which would have given me a punish, right? So just things that you should keep in mind. Okay, and the opponent, this is the second time our opponent has shown us double L chain. Okay, so moving forward, I expect myself to adapt, right? This means that while you're playing, you need to be seeing and looking for habits consistently. And if you're not keeping that at the back of your mind, or at the very least trying to action it, it's what's setting you back. Now the question is to myself, what was I feeling in this moment where I truly felt after a raw sweep, raw diggity? Okay, this situation here was an attempt at an adaptation. Let's talk about this situation first, right? Off of this situation, I tried to make an adaptation, right? The adaptation being I'm going to try and drive rush in and try and interrupt that attempt. Or if they try to back up on me, I can do drive rush heavy punch to catch them, pull them in, and make them guess, right? This is not successful because in this case, you won't have enough frames to get there in time if they do decide to go for L chain, right? So once again, this is an option that is unavailable to me. However, if your opponent keeps showing you that, then you need to make adaptations. Now, being forced or kept out for too long has made me feel uncomfortable. And when I'm feeling uncomfortable, that's when I start to take extra risk, right? Now, this extra risk showed itself in the form of sweep and in the form of jump. And yes, I'm being very critical of myself, but this is how you do it in order to get better. Okay. Here, I thought this would reach. I figured that this would actually check him in the case that he would try to do anything like backdash, but I was unsuccessful. Okay, there's another situation here. Okay, this is -8. I believe I did try to punish this, but possibly I was just a little bit too slow on it. So for the next time, I need to be a little bit quicker. Okay, got the bait. This is not good meter management. So in this case, it either I can't really recall my feelings on the moment. I'm thinking about the moment. I think I was going through just like, let me put damage on the board while getting a stock and kind of just play for stocks now. I think that's where my mind was at. Unfortunately, I was unsuccessful on the standing heavy punch, and he anti-aired me with crouching medium kick. Lovely. Wow. Yeah, that is a thing, by the way. Yeah, he got stun locked by that punish. Okay, so after that situation, right? I want to take note is that I'm slowly taking notice of what he likes to do, right? So he likes to do L chain, right? So here in this specific instance, he went for L chain. Then what I went for the DI afterwards on a read, right? Unsuccessful. But what I can say though is kudos to me for noticing that he's going for L chain, and trying to actively do something about it. Fortunately, I was unsuccessful this time, but it's good to keep in mind. And then this time we got the punish, which is good. We get the command grab. Okay, what did I want to do here? I just wanted to block, but I got counter hit because I didn't have enough time to recover. So what do we do in this case here, where we want to recover faster than what the drive rush will allow? So in these cases here, if I am trying to bait out a super off of drive rush, what I need to start doing is doing drive rush crouch jab into crouch jab immediately. So what that does is that it cancels your momentum entirely, and you'll see, well, if you watch the set of ours, you can go ahead and watch that on CFN, but if you watch that set, what ends up happening in a lot of my games is that I'll end up reversal supering the moment she starts drive rushing at me, right? So if we get better at baiting that out, then I will be in better shape to handle situations like this where they just try to press a button into super immediately. Okay, try to make them guess, unsuccessful. They needed the drive rush. And then it was almost as if I felt goaded into using drive reversal myself. As a result of that, I felt as though I needed to do it. And when I did it, I ended up getting blown up for it. So what could I have done in that situation? To be honest, there wasn't really too many options I could have done there. I could have obviously blocked, right? Obviously, I'm not going to say blocking was not an option. But there was also a lot of mix that could have been involved in blocking there, and if it was a successful drive reversal, I could have put them in a situation where they're at that medium range further out from me. And I feel, in my opinion, that Manon can take advantage of that better than Aki can, because she can basically just pull out L chain, and then the rest of her buttons are pretty committal when it comes to dealing with the mid-range. So with that being said, let's head on over to the training lab and let's go over the last part. So now that we're in the lab, it's time to lab certain situations that you found yourself in. And you know, what were you consistently losing to, right? We saw a lot of them doing L chain. We did make the adaptation closer to the end, but what could we have done better in these cases? So in that specific match, I did choose it randomly, but in that specific match, what I felt is that number one, we could do better at baiting out someone waking up, right? So what happened, especially at the end there, was our opponent woke up with crouching medium kick, right? And that was the game deciding factor. So what I tried to do was I tried to drive rush and stop, right? That was the goal. However, I actually can't do that because you don't recover in time. So how do I overcome this issue? So you think about it a little bit. You may reference somebody, you may ask someone, you may go into my Discord, you know, join my Discord, ask me directly, you know, double plug. But you might want to figure out how to do that. If you can't, you can always come to me and I'll help you, or help you lab, tell you the answer, or help you lab the situation. With that being said, what you can decide to do is stop like this, right? And then when you stop like that, it also opens up doors to bait out your opponent, right? So that's the beauty in being able to lab a situation, because if you don't lab these situations, that's how you end up giving away free games or giving away free matches that you don't need to. So then the next time that I find myself in a situation where I want to bait something out, then we can go ahead and implement certain things to try and bait it out, right? Naturally, I also need to practice this a little bit more often so I'm more proficient in it. But with that being said, that's kind of how you want to go about doing it. Obviously, I fast tracked a couple parts there, but it's going to take you a little bit more time because you're a little bit newer to the game. With that being said, I do have a whole bunch of other guides that will help you improve, whether it be anti-airs, whether it be improving consistently. I hope this helped you VOD review your own games, and if not, I am more than willing to help you out in that regard. Free coaching on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.